Okay, I'm staying on the live. We're getting ANITTA. I know no one wants to miss this. So, should I get that sign going? Okay. We are going to connect Brazilian pop sensation ANITTA. In the meantime, we're going to listen to some of her music.
Lá na panela, cachaça, docinho, garrafa, camarote, pulseira, mulheres solteiras, tem loira, tá tendo, morena, tá tendo, pretinha, tá tendo, e as uivas, tá tendo, tem compra, mineira, VIP, tem gin, tem whisky, tem drink, tem fumaça, bebê, tem narguilha, tem after na vida suíte, tem funk, tem muita novinha, tem sexo, mas tem camisinha, menino que beija menina, que beija menino, que beija menina, tem diplo, tem lanteio e ANITTA, tem bunda, tem baile, tem ousadia, tem como pra cima, loucura das mãos.
Queen!
Give me that bombante, bombante, give me that bombante, bombante.
Já tá avisado, vai dar do recado. Que o bagulho é tenso. Ouço lotado, tá tudo ligado. Quem tá do meu lado nem tá entendendo. Rave não foi que ficou querendo ver tu colar aqui dentro. Vem pro mirante, te fiz um romance. Só tenho uma chance pra esse momento. Tô louca,
Hi,
Show.
Ashley.
Ashley O and ANITTA collab needs to happen ASAP.
Oh my God, Ashley! I need an Ashley too in my house.
Yes, you do. You absolutely do. Okay, so I'm just so happy to see you because our fans have been going wild about us connecting. And
They are.
They're going just insane. This is so awesome. So it was your birthday Monday, I heard.
Yes,
Happy
it
birthday.
was. It was my birthday Monday, and I did nothing.
That's what I was wondering. You know, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be experiencing that. How was it like celebrating your birthday kind of without celebrating and just kind of having to spend time inside?
It was sad. Actually, I was really sad because I'm a very party person. You know, every
Same.
year in my birthday, I do like a huge party in my house for like 500 people, and I have live shows and everything. And this year, I needed to cancel everything, so I was so upset. I was like, "Oh my God!" So my birthday was kind of sad. For
So
me.
how did you deal with those emotions? Like, what are some tools and tricks you use to kind of deal with that?
I got drunk.
Yes, alone.
No, with my boyfriend because he's with me. I got drunk and I ate a huge cake, and I ate a lot, like a lot of food.
Yeah.
I got drunk, and that was the way that I escaped. But I was like really upset, really sad.
So I heard that you're an awesome cook also. Like you're just a badass. Like you love food, love cooking. What's your favorite kind of dish, or like what's something traditional that maybe I haven't had that's like really, really good?
So I'm trying to keep my vegan, not the 100%, because
Yeah.
sometimes I can, sometimes I run away a little bit, but I try to be vegan most of the time. So the Brazilian food that I love the most here is like it's called feijoada. It's like black beans, but Brazilian ones, not Cuban, not Mexican, black Brazilian beans, and it's like a soup of that. And they do with a pig, pork, whatever. But I like to do the vegan one, which is with tofu, and it's so good. It's like
That
a favorite.
sounds yum. So I performed a couple of times in Brazil. I
I
love
know.
Brazil. I also love to party and dance and go wild, and so did the crowd. Actually, I think one of my last shows I did in Brazil, it was pouring rain. Like it was totally sunny and gorgeous on the beach in
I
the
was
morning.
there
It was pouring rain.
in Sao Paulo.
And everyone was still like partying, and I was thinking, no one's gonna show up, no one's gonna be at my show. They didn't give a fuck. Like it was still just packed, and like it was like it wasn't even happening. It was so cool.
It was huge. I was there in Sao Paulo, and then the next day you were in Rio.
Yep.
And yeah, it was amazing. And even if it was raining, people were dancing. Brazilians are like that. They don't like to lose a party. They are. We Brazilians, we are dealing really. We are really sad with this because it's a Brazilian way to be. You know, like a few weeks ago we were doing carnival, so we are party people, celebrate people. So it's tough this moment for us, for
Yeah,
everyone.
I had a question about that. You know, like most of the world, Brazil is going to be hit hard by this pandemic, and we've seen local activists already stepping up to organize and try to prepare local communities. Do you have a message of how to stay bright in these dark times? And also, I think it's just really important to encourage people to stay home if and when they can and protect each other.
Yeah, so in the beginning, I was starting to what I try to do because I started to feel like I was gonna panic sometime because a lot of time doing nothing, a lot of time not producing, and I'm a person who likes to travel every time, work a lot. So I started to reschedule some lives, doing like cook sessions, workout, French classes. But then in the like after I think 10 days, I started to get really sad.
Yeah.
Like with this, no, don't go out, don't. I got really sad. Now I'm starting to get better. I think it was more because of my party, my birthday too, far away from everyone, and then I canceled the lives. But now I'm gonna bring forces again to come back because
Yeah.
I think it's moments. You know, sometimes you're amazing, sometimes you feel like, oh my god, let's go. It's never
I had
ending.
that day. I had that day yesterday. Like I was totally good. I've been doing this show. I've been having so much fun. Today I'm like, I get to be Ashley O today, so I was gonna have so much fun. It's April Fools, but I love pranks. I love April Fools, and there's no one for me to prank right now. I'm like alone, and I can't pull all my jokes that I love to pull, so I just have to like. Right now, I just ran out to my boyfriend as Ashley O, and he's never seen Ashley O before, so Ashley O might get freaky later, you know. Um, so you were just named by Forbes the most powerful woman in Brazil. How does that make you feel coming from how you were raised, and how has your life changed and evolved?
So I came from, I don't know if you're close to what is a favela in Brazil,
Yeah.
like a very humble part in Brazil. And I came from a personal, from a place like that. And my life was so different. I had no, that was one of the reasons that I got so sad in my birthday because I never had a party. I never used to have a birthday party in my life until I got to be a singer, because then I started to have money to make parties, to host parties, whatever. So I was really sad about this because all my childhood, my teenagehood, I was like, I had no access for anything. And then I started to sing in the favelas, to sing for like the small places in Rio, and then got bigger, bigger, bigger. And then I started to feel like my life changing.
Yeah.
It was amazing because I was like 20 years old. And then I started to manage myself, me and my brother. We opened a company. We are partners until nowadays. So my whole life and my friends and family changed. And that's amazing.
That is crazy because I'm from a really small town in Nashville, but I was born and raised in the industry. My dad was always singing. I was on a tour bus and following him around on tour before I could even walk. Like I would crawl and escape the nanny. And my favorite thing was girls used to throw bras and underwear at my dad. and I would find the biggest one and I would like wrap it around my head and like turn it into like some sort of head scarf or like something. I was always on these tours, so I couldn't imagine not growing up in the industry. And so it's just so amazing that you're like self-made and that you also are a family business, because we are too. My mom is my manager. I toured with my brother. I did a show with my dad for 10 years. Like, we're just a family run business. So I love that you all are also.
Yeah, me and my brother, I miss him. Oh my God, I don't see him in a while. Me and my brother, we worked together. We opened our company without knowing anything in the business. And he was like, but how are you going to do this? We don't know anything. We have no
Yeah.
experience. And I was like, we're going to learn. We're
Yeah.
going to learn by ourselves together. Let's go. And nowadays he's like amazing, an amazing professional. And yeah, I think I feel better when we are in family, because this world, this life in the industry, for me, it was very different, because I I I was born with this, my family. My family is like 15 people,
Yeah.
but we are very close and like together every time. And now I have like everyone around, but when I go to the hotel, I'm alone.
Yeah.
So that was something that I needed to learn how to deal with. But now they come with me. They kind of switch. One day is my mom coming, the other day
Yeah.
is my brother, then my dad. So this moment now, I got sad mostly because of this too. I don't see my family, but when I'm traveling on tour, they come with me.
That's the same thing that we do. Like, someone is always on set from my family. Somebody, even my grandma. My grandma runs my fan club, so she like signs all the little things, and then literally, and it keeps her like young, because she's got all this like mail coming in and she does all this stuff. But if someone sends a photo of me that she likes, she keeps it for herself and frames it. She doesn't send it back. So she like keeps all the pictures of me sometimes. It's really
So
bad.
there's this aunt of mine that she used to call the radios
Oh my
every
goodness.
day to ask for my songs. When I was starting, she used to call the radios with different voices and say, "Hey, I'm Anita's fan. I want that song." And then she's like, "I'm
Oh,
Anita's fan. I want that song."
instead of having like a fan club, we have a fam club. We just have
Yes,
like our
and if
family running shit.
yeah, and if the radio didn't play the song, she used to call again and say, "Hey, I asked for Anita 30 minutes ago. Where is the song?" And she was like obsessed.
That is just so good. I was gonna ask you, so speaking of your music and requesting your music, Ryan Tedder, who was on Bright Minded a couple days ago, he's producing your record. He's a super close friend of mine, and he's working on my album also. We're collaborators. So what's your new album sounding like, and what's it like to work with Ryan Tedder?
Man, I love Ryan. For me, it was a surprise. I've never thought I would be with him, like producing my whole album, and he's like directing everything for me. And it's a pleasure because I learn a lot with him, and we are practical in the way of working. So I get into the studio with him, and it's just fast. We get a song like it, pa, 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 pa. And we had such a chemistry on that, because I hate to waste my time too. So
Yes.
when we go to the studio, we were not like hanging and chilling and waiting. No, we are doing the things, get the things done, and I love it. My manager Brandon was the one who introduced me to Ryan, and I started to search more about his writer and producer work. I didn't know before that much, so I fell in love. And we are mixing a lot of different sounds of Brazil and mixing with American culture. So every single song we put some Brazilian flavor on that, and all my fans, they are like obsessed to know what is to come. We are gonna sing at Coachella,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, on the main stage. We were like super excited to put music out, but now in this moment we are waiting, because this moment in the world, it's kind of tricky for us to release things. I think it's such a happy, important moment.
I feel the same way, because my fans are also obsessed. I see them right now writing like, "Where's the next album?" They like go insane, or like if a little snippet of a song leaks, and then they just like go crazy and of that snippet. But my music is about community, club culture, getting together, listening to the record at the same time, getting sweaty, dancing, sharing drinks, sharing joints. Like, it's about community and like connecting. And so to put out a record in a time where people can't connect and can't get, even if it's like at your house having a listening party, you want that. You want people to listen to the album the first time, not alone in their room.
I feel the same. And I think that the type of music that we are cooking, it's such this vibe, like getting together, dancing together, like partying. And that's what I felt. We had all these things done, ready to put out before Coachella, and we just changed everything, like thinking that this is a different moment. You know, we need to wait and see how the world is going to react and how the things are going to be, so we can start planning the things again. And that was the decision. But talking about Ryan, we cooked a lot of great music, like culture stuff for Brazil, like all types of music, mixing rhythms that people will start knowing out of Brazil too.
That is super, super sick. And, you know, again, about staying true to who you are, that's something that I did when I made Bangers. I had been another character for so long, which I can't stop with, like, creating these different characters. But, oh, she's going then. Hold on.
Oh,
you're good. You're good. I think it's going in. Okay. So, you know, after being on Hannah Montana for so long, the next record that I made was Bangers. And I have been someone that I wasn't for so long that it was ready to be like the most myself that I could ever be. So I couldn't do that without having country influence on the record. Even though that wasn't all I was listening to, I'm always listening to Britney, but I'm listening to, like, I was listening to pop like Britney, or I was listening to, you know, what Mike Will was making at the time with like Juicy J, or with his band, you know, with Sway Lee and with Ray Sermon. So I was listening to everything, but I couldn't abandon country music because that's like what I was, that's like my in my blood. And so when you reinvent a sound, when you go, okay, I can like honor and respect where I'm from, but I can reinvent it so it crosses state lines or seas or countries. Like, it can actually go beyond your culture and where you're from. And like, then other artists also get inspired, and then you'll hear like some Brazilian flavor on something by another artist that never would have been inspired, but they love your music. And so I just think it's cool how music really doesn't give a fuck about borders or boundaries. It just is. And like, you can just be so inspired. And I think it's super important that you take your roots everywhere with you that you go, because that's always been really important for me too.
Yeah, and I loved that you had moments, you know, like, I love this idea of changing yourself, reinvent yourself. I love this. Like, when you see a career that you can get curious again of how's this gonna show up, how the next thing is gonna be, because you're always recreating yourself. I love this. This is something I really care about when I'm working. And now with this album with Ryan, he was really he was amazing and humble, because he got to learn the Brazilian culture with me. That was perfect, you know.
Yeah.
He was so humble, searching with me about the culture, understanding the Brazilian things, like even the hood, the like simple things, and getting connected with Brazilian people who was making music. He is perfect, and I'm in love with and excited for this whole thing to stop and for us to drop the music out.
Yeah, I agree. I love Ryan. He's done the same thing with me. And like, even if it's just me telling him my story, like, of the last 2 years, I've had a lot of things going on. The last 2 years, I was actually filming Black Mirror when I had lost my house in the fires in Malibu. Now with this happening, like, there's just been so many things, and, you know, breakups and losses. And so even if I just spend 2 days with Ryan, just like vomiting my story and us like getting song ideas. We were talking one day and he's like, you speak in song titles. Like, there's so many things, and we write down the titles, but we go through the whole story so we can tell that story with the music. So he is just the best. He is the best.
Yeah, and we also mix the Latin flavor too, because some people mix, because Brazil speaks Portuguese, and the Latin people from the other countries speak Spanish. So sometimes they kind of think it's the same culture, but it's so different. So I also speak Spanish. I speak Portuguese, Spanish, and English. So when it's the Spanish verses I write, and he always trusts what I'm writing, and then he writes the things in English, and I trust him. It's super cool. I love this creation part.
That is so cool, and I'm so stoked to hear the new music. Before we sign off, I have Diplo on later, so I want to play your song. But is there anything that you wanted to say directly to your fans watching? Like that you have so many people watching right now, so many people watching the episode. Anything you want to say to your fans that are expecting your music and how they can stay safe during this time?
I'm gonna say some Spanish because everyone is asking here to speak some Spanish. Hola, mis amores. Gracias a todos los fans míos, ella y Miley, que están acá mirando, nos asistiendo. Los amamos, los queremos. Estamos ahí esperando que todo esto pase para ponemos canciones afuera. Para os fãs brasileiros, obrigada pelo carinho. And for all the fans, thank you so much for the love and kindness with me in my birthday. And also, well, waiting for the project. I'm also so excited as you guys are. And I think all the artists are right now waiting. Oh, this is my dog.
We're in like a line. Everyone's at the starting line. Like, when do we let us add them? Let us add it.
What? Sorry?
All of us are like sitting at like the starting line. Like, you know, we were all ready to put out the records and we're all just sitting there now like, like, what are we supposed to do? Like, let us add it. Let us put the music out, you know, so all of us are in the same boat.
In my birthday, when I got drunk by myself, I started to play my new music. And
I always do. I always do.
The new music here and having fun by myself. Like, oh my God, when people listen to that.
They're going to have so much fun. Well, thank you for being on the show.
And this is Ryan's here watching us. Ryan, thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Diplo, I love you too. Bye.